Welcome back everyone. Today we will attempt to learn another topic of workplace bullying, preventing bullying in virtual teams. As remote and hybrid work environments continue to grow, so do the risks of workplace bullying evolving into new forms. With fewer in-person interactions and more reliance on digital communication, it's easier for negative behaviors like exclusion, verbal harassment, or microaggressions to go unnoticed or misinterpreted. In this lecture, we will explore strategies for preventing bullying in virtual teams by fostering a positive work culture, setting clear guidelines, and ensuring that remote workers feel supported and included. After completing this lecture, you will have the practical tools to build a healthy virtual work environment and minimize the risks of bullying. Understand how bullying manifests in virtual teams. Learn key strategies for preventing bullying in remote work settings. Identify ways to foster inclusivity, open communication, and positive team dynamics in virtual environments. Bullying can take on subtle forms in virtual teams, and without the benefit of in-person observation, it can be harder to identify. Let's look at some ways bullying might show up in virtual environment. Exclusion from communications. In virtual teams, bullying might look like systematically excluding certain individuals from emails, meetings, or key discussions. This can be done intentionally or unintentionally, but either way, it leads to feeling of isolation and marginalization. Verbal harassment in digital spaces. Messaging platforms like Slack, Microsoft Teams, or even email can become breeding grounds for verbal harassment. Harsh language, sarcastic comments, or passive-aggressive remarks can be more damaging in digital setting where tone is harder to read. Silent treatment or ignoring contributions. Another form of bullying in virtual teams is simply ignoring someone's contributions. If team members or managers remotely overlook input from a specific person, it can diminish that individual's sense of value and create a toxic dynamic. Micromanagement in remote setting. While not always intentional, micromanaging remote workers can feel like bullying when employees are constantly monitored or critiqued. Without trust, remote workers can feel suffocated, leading to increased stress and anxiety. The good news is that there are several effective strategies to prevent bullying in virtual teams. These methods focus on creating an environment of openness, respect, and inclusion. The first step in preventing bullying is setting clear guidelines for communication and behavior in virtual settings. Remote teams rely heavily on written communication, so it's critical to have a policy that defines what is and isn't acceptable online. This might include guidelines on tone and language in written messages, policies around inclusion, ensuring everyone is looped into relevant conversations, expectations for video conferencing etiquette, such as giving everyone a chance to speak. In virtual teams, it's important to create opportunities for open communication. Without face-to-face interactions, misunderstandings can fester and escalate into bigger issues. Leaders should regularly encourage team members to check in with each other, ask for feedback, and discuss any concerns. Consider holding virtual office hours where employees can share concerns with their managers in a casual setting, or scheduling regular one-on-one meetings to gauge how individuals are feeling. When team members feel that they can speak up about their concerns, small issues are more likely to be resolved before they turn into larger problems. One of the most common ways bullying manifests in virtual teams is through exclusion. To combat this, leaders need to be deliberate in promoting inclusivity. This includes inviting all relevant team members to meetings and ensuring everyone has a voice during discussions. Encouraging participation from quieter team members who might hesitate to speak up in virtual settings. Rotating meeting leadership roles to ensure that team members from different levels and backgrounds have a chance to take charge. By actively promoting inclusion, teams can reduce the risk of individuals feeling sidelined or ignored. While technology can sometimes create distance between team members, it can also be used to build stronger connections. Tools like video conferencing, chat platforms, and collaborative software can be used to create a more engaging and connected virtual environment. Leaders can also encourage non-work related interactions to build camaraderie, whether through virtual coffee breaks, team building games, or shared water cooler chat channels. These moments of casual interactions can help employees feel more connected to their team, reducing feelings of isolation that might lead to bullying behaviors. One of the most effective ways to prevent bullying is by building a culture of trust. In virtual teams, trust must be cultivated intentionally, as it doesn't develop naturally through casual office interactions. Transparency is critical in remote work. Leaders should keep lines of communication open about decision making, goals, and team progress. When employees understand the bigger picture, they feel more included and are less likely to feel alienated. Leaders must model respectful behavior in all virtual interactions. By setting the tone for the rest of the team, they can help create a culture where bullying is clearly not tolerated. This means being mindful of how they communicate, providing constructive feedback, and ensuring that all team members feel valued. Let me tell you about a marketing agency that shifted to a fully remote model during the pandemic. One employee, John, started to feel increasingly left out because he was in a different time zone. Meetings were held without him, and he often received important information after decisions had already been made. Although this wasn't intentional, it caused John to feel frustrated and isolated. After John raised the issue with the manager, the company realized they needed to be more thoughtful about inclusivity in virtual settings. They implemented new policies to ensure that all time zones were considered when scheduling meetings. They also introduced asynchronous communication tools to allow John to contribute when he wasn't online. As a result, John felt more connected and the team became more cohesive. Moral of the story? Simple changes like adjusting meeting times and using the right tools can prevent remote employees from feeling isolated and left out, which in turn reduces the likelihood of bullying or disengagement. Think of a virtual team like a jigsaw puzzle. Each person represents a piece of that puzzle. If a few pieces are missing or don't quite fit, the puzzle will never be complete. In the same way, if certain team members are excluded or marginalized, the team cannot function at its best. Just as every puzzle piece is necessary to create the full picture, every team member must feel valued and connected for the team to thrive. For your next assignment, I would like you to develop a plan for preventing bullying in a fictional virtual team. Include at least 3 strategies that focus on improving communication, fostering inclusion, and promoting a positive team culture.